What do you make of yesterday with President Biden at the press conference? We played that clip. We'll put it up one more time, just the video of it. Does the body language tell us he was just sort of confused because he didn't know what was happening, and it's happened to me, or that there's something else going on?
I think it's obvious to me anyway. We're looking at someone that has a neurological decline. So that, as popular as that may not be, I got to call them like I see them. When somebody's looking like that, they're sounding like that, they've got that stare, they're really not sure what's going on. It shows me a person who's not the person in control, who's not the one in charge, who's not the one to talk to. He's not showing the body language of a leader. He's not showing the things we need to see to feel confident with someone, to at least act like they know what's happening or what's going on.
All right. We'll let that stand as it is. Nikki Haley had this huge change, right? I was on the campaign trail with her, South Carolina. I was with her in New Hampshire. I was with her in Iowa when she was just pummeling Donald Trump. And then earlier this week, she comes out and says, well, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump anyway. Take a look at both of those moments, and we want to compare the body language.
Okay. And Donald Trump was totally unhinged. Unhinged.
I will be voting for Trump. Having said that, I stand by what I said in my suspension speech. Trump would be smart to reach out to the millions of people who voted for me and continue to support me, and not assume that they're just going to be with him.
Thoughts?
Yeah, we're seeing two different sales pitches there. One of them, she's trying to get everyone on her side because at that time she's against Trump and she wants everybody to be on her team. She's trying to say things that identify with that demographic. But the same thing is happening on this other video. She's trying to say, look, I'm still going this way. I'm still going over this way. Even though she's going against what she said before, it's almost, the body language is completely different because she's coming from a place of new confidence or having new knowledge, in other words. So, and by her movements are slower. Her illustrators aren't as big as they were in the first one. Illustrators are the way your brain emphasizes specific words and phrases like I did just then. So it's just looking at two different kinds of sales pitches, in other words, at that point.
Do we think they were both genuine?
As much as you can tell from a political situation if something's genuine or not, I believe it looks to me like they are. The second one, though, seems a little bit hesitant because I'm sure she's thinking about how it's going against what she said before. And we know that because she has what's called fading facts when she talks. It gets a little bit quieter as she goes along. And her cadence, as the speed she speaks, slows down a little bit as she goes. And her voice tone goes a little bit lower. So that indicates less confidence with that. But it may be because she's thinking about what she's said before or how this may or may not go well with the demographics.
All right, Scott, real quick, I want to get to Donald Trump. This is him yesterday with one of the rappers who joined him in Harlem.
Chef G, where is he? I like that. I want to get that done.
President Trump, oh man.
There's always that moment, right, where Donald Trump is willing to be about the other guy, but only for a brief second.
Yeah, well, he's introducing someone. He's got to have them come up, say their part. I'm sure he's got a whole lot more on his mind the last couple of months than he usually does. But that's totally normal, especially in a political situation like that. You give the stage up to whoever you're introducing. They're supposed to be the greatest person in the world. That's why they're there. They're with you, and you're introing them as that. So that makes sense what's happening there. I don't believe he wants to get the dental work done that he was talking about in the complete clip there. So I think that's just, trying to get people to do what we're doing right now, put us in a good mood or laugh at that. So.
Yeah. No, look, his comedic timing, his ability to understand a crowd, the showmanship is unlike any other, different than Ronald Reagan's, but unlike any other. Scott, it's always good to see you. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.